Okay. Chair, we're unmuted, so whenever you're ready.
One moment. Good morning, everybody, and welcome. It is Wednesday, July 23rd, 2025. This is the business meeting for the Lincoln County Board of Commissioners. Commissioner Miller to my left, Commissioner Chuck to my right, and myself. We are the full board and represent a quorum. We move to the consent calendar. Consent calendar items are routine or things that we have discussed at previous meetings. We always provide an opportunity for commissioners to highlight items. And I think maybe it would be good to mention a series of agreements with the Toledo Waldport Chambers of Commerce, the Lincoln County Historical Society, part of our annual granting programs to the chambers and to the historical societies to help stimulate visitor business to the county. Anything else that commissioners would like to highlight or remove for individual consideration?
I have none.
Do you have anything?
Chair Hall, no, nothing for me. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So commissioners, under section H, the last two documents, there's a legal description that was provided by the title company that's incorrect.
Okay.
So I just want to put on the record that it will be changed to Lot 2, Partition Plat 2025, filed in the Lincoln County, Oregon Book of 2025 on page 21.
Okay. Would somebody like to move adoption of the consent calendar with the noted correction from council?
I move we approve the consent calendar with the additions and corrections by council.
I will second that motion.
All in favor of adopting the consent calendar, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we're rolling right along. Next up, we have two public hearings, and we will open up for public comment at this stage of the meeting only for these specific agenda items. The first one will be legalization of 3 Rocks Road, Savage Road, and our presenter is Michael Dewan, our Public Works Director. And Michael, while you're coming forward, I will open the public hearing on the matter of legalization of portions of North 3 Rocks Road and Savage Road. And now we hear Mr. Dewan's staff report.
Screen, right?
Yep.
Well, good morning. Again, my name is Michael Dewan, County Public Works Director. Public hearing for the legalization of North 3 Rocks Road and Savage Road or portions thereof. I did prepare a staff report, which was in the package. Unless there are any immediate questions, I just prefer to do a presentation and go through the text of my report.
What's the pleasure of the board? I don't have any questions.
Yeah.
Seems pretty. Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you. Well, to start, the County Public Works Department has prepared this report for the Board of Commissioners' consideration for legalizing portions of North 3 Rocks Road and Savage Road, both located within unincorporated areas of Lincoln County. The potential legalization is pursuant to an Oregon Department of Transportation, ODOT, local bridge program project to replace County Bridge number 00101 along North 3 Rocks Road at Crowley Creek, which is currently being designed and scheduled for construction in 2027. Since the project will utilize federal funds, it is necessary to validate the existing right-of-way before it can proceed beyond the preliminary design phase. For purposes of this report, validation of the right-of-way means ensuring the bridge and adjacent roadway sections are situated within the legal right-of-way and under county jurisdiction. And I'll just divert from that for a minute. We have had numerous discussions. There are areas within the county where a road doesn't actually line up with the right-of-way. It's basically the same description here. To continue, the portion of North 3 Rocks Road requested to be legalized was created in 1927 as J.A. West Road and was an extension of the then existing Salmon River Road. Although the physical road begins near what is currently milepost 1.0 along 3 Rocks Road, which is approximately 1 mile west of Highway 101, there are numerous inconsistencies between the various road records regarding the road's width and location. As depicted on the preliminary legalization survey for portions of North Three Rocks Road and Savage Road, which is included in the report as Exhibit A1, the legal right-of-way is generally situated approximately 660 feet east of the road's actual location and does not follow the curvilinear nature of the pavement nor follow the alignment in a manner acceptable by today's road standards. Savage Road, which extends northwesterly from the end of North Three Rocks Road to the boundary line between Lincoln County and Tillamook County, was created in 1932 as an additional extension of Salmon River Road and may have also been established as part of the plat of Three Rocks at Salmon River Bay, which is included as Exhibit B in the report. Similar to North Three Rocks Road, the legal right-of-way of Savage Road does not follow the curvilinear nature of the pavement nor follow the alignment in a manner acceptable by today's road standards. In addition to the discrepancies mentioned, changes made to the location and alignment of the roads since their establishment have resulted in clear deviations between the legal right-of-way and the physical road as traveled, including a section of paved road leading to the entrance of Knight Park where there is no apparent right-of-way. In accordance with Oregon Revised Statute 368.201, a county governing body may initiate proceedings to legalize the county road if any of the following conditions exist. 1, if through omission or defect doubt exists to the legal establishment or evidence of establishment of a public road. 2, if the location of the road cannot be accurately determined due to either numerous alterations of the road, a defective survey of the road or adjacent property, or loss or destruction of the original survey of the road. Or the third item, if the road is traveled and used for 10 years or more, does not conform to the location of a road described in the county records. During the Board of Commissioners meeting on February 19th, 2025, the board considered a request by the Public Works Department to initiate proceedings to legalize portions of North Three Rocks Road and Savage Road, and subsequently approved initiating the proceedings through order number 02-25-091. Copies of the relevant board agenda, written request, and order number 02-25-091 are included herein for reference as exhibits C1, C2, and C3 respectively. As required by order number 02-25-091, the county surveyor and the public works director have prepared a survey in this report for the board's consideration, as well as caused notice of these legalization proceedings to be provided in the manner required by law. As required by ORS 368-206.c, notice of these legalization proceedings by service to abutting property owners was sent via certified mail, return receipt requested the week of June 10th, 2025. Notice by posting was performed the week of June 17th, 2025, and included posting in 3 locations along North Three Rocks Road and Savage Road. A copy of the notice provided of the list of the identified property owners and associated tax lot numbers, a diagram indicating where notice was provided by posting, and affidavits attesting to the notices are included herein for reference as exhibits D1, D2, D3, and D4 respectively. ORS 368.206 does not require notice of legalization proceedings to be published in a local newspaper, and any further notice of the proceedings was deferred to county administration, as long as the fact that there was a public hearing in general. To the best of my knowledge, the steps taken fulfill the requirements of ORS 368.206 and ORS 368.401 through 426. It's my understanding that all criteria required under ORS 368 for the legalization of these portions of North Three Rocks Road and Savage Road have been met, and based on the determination that due to omissions or defects in the original right-of-way description and through numerous alterations of the road, the location of the road cannot accurately be determined, and because the road is traveled and used for 10 years or more does not conform to the location of the road as described in county records. Therefore, sufficient basis has been established for the legalization of portions of North Three Rocks Road and Savage Road. Additionally, there are no known existing structures within the areas of either portions of road to be legalized, and therefore no associated compensation is believed to be due in accordance with ORS 368.201. Subsequently, contingent upon any testimony received before and at the hearing, Public Works recommends the board legalize North Three Rocks Road and Savage Road at the specified locations and widths as depicted on the preliminary legalization survey for portions of North Three Rocks Road and Savage Road, and as described within the accompanying preliminary legal descriptions included herein for references Exhibit A2. That concludes the text of my report. That was a lot of repetition and a lot of legal mumbo jumbo. Just generally speaking, I believe you're all familiar with this project to some degree. Matter of fact, several months ago, we had a similar project legalizing a portion of Ocean View Drive in the city of Yachats. That had a long history to it, and there was a lot of discussion. I'd share with you for this project, I've worked with the county surveyor on it for quite some time. He was very cooperative and very knowledgeable about it. It seems to be pretty straightforward. This is just a situation where, a road was platted years ago, and that's not quite where it is today. We did send out the notifications and posted signage. I was more diligent about following up with any messages. I only received one. It was one, I can't remember the property owner's name, but they did contact our office that they received notice, a certified letter was sent, but not receive it. They asked what it was about. We sent them a copy of it, had a little back and forth via email. I feel we answered their questions. But other than that one contact, to the best I know, there isn't any major issues outstanding with this, subject to anyone testifying today. But with that, I'd be glad to answer any questions I can.
Board questions at this point?
I have none.
Okay. Mr. Lip, can we see if there's anybody online who is here to offer testimony on this agenda item only? The legalizations of the portions of these two roads. If there is, please use your raise hand function. Okay, do we have anybody signed up in the room? Okay, then at this point, I can close the hearing and the board can move to deliberations. Well, I'd say this feels pretty straightforward, a process we've gone through several times before. And
Or is it curvilinear? Okay. It's my new favorite.
I see what you
word.
did there.
No, thank you. I think this is tight, it's concise, and everything we need here. Appreciate Mr. Adam assisting as well, and Andrew Blair as well. So thank you. No questions for me.
All right, now I need a motion then, which would be, well, I guess a formal vote or just directive to staff by consensus is either acceptable. Okay, if we do have consensus on moving this ahead, we can direct council to prepare a formal order for transfer at the August 6th board meeting. Is that acceptable to everybody?
Yes,
So,
Chair.
Okay, great. Thank you, Mr. Devon.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. Now we have got another public hearing, affordable housing grant. And while we go through that again, I'm opening a public hearing for the matter of an affordable housing grant application, and we will have our staff report.
Very good. Good morning. For the record, my name is Jane Romero. I work as the Health and Human Services Director. And we are here to carry out the first of two public hearings on the implementation of affordable housing development grant for victims of the wildfire that still have not found permanent housing. The first hearing is for you, for the public that logs in and participates in the Board of Commissioner public hearing. And the second will be a community public hearing specifically targeting individuals and others who may have an interest, but specifically targeting individuals who we have been working with through our wildfire navigation program. And so with that, I'm going to turn it over to the administrator of the grant.
My name's Jennifer Beckner, for those of you who I haven't met, and Commissioner Chuck, this is our first time seeing each other. So welcome to Lincoln County. I have worked with Lincoln County for 23 years this year, and I've been with Health and Human Services for 13. I have a long background in coordinating and writing grants and grant administration. This project, however, was not mine. This was something that was started by Commissioner Jacobson before she left. And so if we could go to the next slide, please. So I use this as a visual because Katie did this amazing analogy at a meeting last June of 2024, and she described wildlife recovery as buckets. And this was brilliant to me because this is my train of thinking as well, but I didn't put it in this wonderful visual. And what Katie said when she was explaining it is she said that she was really thinking about what funding opportunities are available at any one time and what funding opportunities are going to become available in the future. And her job was to have the buckets ready so that when one spigot was turning off and another was turning on, we had another bucket ready there to catch the revenue and to bring here to Lincoln County. So when you're looking at this, she had the first buckets. She looked at, well, I guess all of the county commissioners looked at all kinds of funding that we could bring into our community and how we could help support our community members and wildlife survivors. The first buckets were the Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security Act. And that was the CARES Act, federal money that came down that didn't have a lot of restrictions that could be used to help us support this population in our community. There was also the American Rescue Plan Act, ARPA funding. And those funds could be used for things like infrastructure, but not things like, that we really needed, like streets and road improvement, as we heard from our last presentation. So the first projects that they started out with was you started a septic and wells replacement program. And through those grant funds, they were able to complete 253 septic projects. They had 10 well projects completed with a partnership through OSU Extension. And should be starting soon. From what I learned from that meeting was that Panther Creek Water District System received funding to rebuild as well in the amount of $12.8 million that Katie was able to secure. Can you go to the next slide, please? So in that last bucket, when Katie was explaining all of this, she said the one that she was still expecting to come was the Community Development Block Grant. And this money was set aside in response to the 22 Labor Day fires. And a total of $422 million was allocated through those CDBG-DR funds. And at the state level, they decided that the 8 most impacted and distressed counties should receive that funding. And Lincoln County is one of those. Next slide, please. So here are the other 7 most impacted and distressed counties from the wildfires of 2020. And there we are, Lincoln. Next slide, please. As part of the other slide, just to give you a little bit of background, they did use some funding for early housing projects, such as the Wacoma Inn project in Lincoln City, where 44 units were created and wildfire victims were given the right of first refusal. And that was a grant between the Oregon Housing and Community Services, OHCS. I'm learning these acronyms as quick as I can go. And that was a partnership with the Housing Authority of Lincoln County. So 44 new units, if you haven't seen them yet, it's a pretty awesome project. And then also Northwest Coastal Housing received some funding to work on 12 tiny home units. And this project is still in the process right now. So the county itself, as part of this first stage, was able to complete 3 manufactured homes. We still have one that's currently in development. The 2 projects that the one that still needs to be completed was on a tax foreclosed lot that the county donated to Habitat for, or not the first lot. The first lot is one that we're still developing, but the other 2 were donated to Habitat for Humanity to help roll these houses out and make sure that they get to the right demographic that we're looking for. So if if you can go back, please, the method of distribution. So all of these fundings are being run through the Oregon Housing, or I'm always going to get this right. OHCS.
Community Service.
Thank you. And I apologize. So while I have a lot of background in this, my strong place, my skill set is in substance use disorder. And so housing and recovery housing is a new area for me, but this is an exciting time. There is a lot of opportunities for Lincoln County, and I am so excited to be a part of it, even if it is in this last step. And I'm really excited to carry on the work of Commissioner Jacobson. I had no idea what kinds of things that you guys do as commissioners. This was a learning experience for me after 23 years. And so I'm very excited about it. So OHCS is allocating the community development block grant funds and rolling them out to those 8 identified community partners. Lincoln County's allocation of that fund is approximately $9.8 million. And one requirement is that we need to identify projects, create a budget and a plan, and we had a lot of other documents we had to submit, lots of policies and procedures to write. We had to come up with plans for contingencies, like if we were to purchase an existing fourplex and it already had renters, what would we do for those displaced renters? Well, our team decided that we are not in the business of displacing anyone in housing at this time. And so we won't be considering projects that would have to displace people. And so that was an exciting point of this for me. Next slide, please. So eligible projects under these funds could be affordable rental housing development, affordable home ownership and housing development, property acquisition and infrastructure development for planned affordable housing project. The caveat in all of this is that it has to be completed within 3 years. And so we are on a tight timeline, but we have a great plan that we have done. Next slide, please. So for our plan, like I said, we're receiving $9.75 million in those funds from CDBG funding for the Echo Mountain Fire survivors. So we are administering this plan, Lincoln County Health and Human Services. Next slide, please. And what we've determined and how this determination was made is Lincoln County Health and Human Services is also the umbrella agency that manages the wildfire survivors resource navigator, Gabby Santos. And she has been working boots on the ground since these fires took place. She knows these families personally. She's done amazing things to get them housed and living in more secure situations. And so she has a list of how many people that we currently have that are in need of replacement housing. And in that list, she's identified 11 families that constitute of 32 people and 19 animals that are still needing some kind of permanent housing. And that list breaks down into basically 3 buckets. Those who own land and want to obtain replacement housing, those who rented and now would like to buy a home, and those who want to continue to rent. And when we talk about those who rented and would like to now buy a home, one thing that popped up during this whole disaster that I don't know if anybody was anticipating was that a lot of our landlords are from outside of Oregon or outside of Lincoln County. And when they purchase their vacation homes to turn into Airbnbs or whatnot, I don't think that a lot of them were planning on wildfires. And some landlords were spooked and sold their second homes, and that displaced some renters. And so while not directly impacted from losing their building with the dwelling burning down, they did lose their secure housing situation. And so that's how we came up with that group of that category of survivors. Next slide, please. So with landowners wanting homes, how this would work is that the county would provide references for manufactured or modular home providers and contractors for instilling the home upon delivery. So we would work to make sure that people were approved, and this funding would be used to kind of guarantee those loans. We're right here with people. We've got your back. We're going to make sure that you're able to accomplish what you're hoping to accomplish. I think that one of the weirdest things that I learned was that it wasn't just homes that people lost. Let's say that we had one family of 6 people living in a home. They might have 2 RVs with family members or people that that they have allowed to live on their land in accessory or dwelling units, tiny homes, whatever it may have been. But we ended up seeing a lot more people actually losing where they were staying due to this devastating disaster. And so next slide, please. That's kind of where we come into this renters wanting homes. Did we have people that were doubled up, more than one family living in a place? And so we do know that we have renters that are wanting to move into this area. We're exploring all kinds of options, land trust possibilities, how do we have any tax foreclosed properties that we want to look at maybe donating to this cause. We are also people are allowed to, if they have a lot that they're interested in and it works for them, that's definitely something that's allowable. Next slide, please. So like I said, the renters, we're providing the funds, and we're hoping that the Lincoln County, we're not hoping, we know the Lincoln County Housing Authority, and I'm saying that backwards too, they are partners with us, and any of these rental units that we secure will be managed by the Housing Authority of Lincoln County, so that we can make sure that our renters are guaranteed stable housing for a minimum of 15 years. So the Housing Authority of Lincoln County has agreed, and they will be managing those properties for us once they're obtained and we move forward. Next slide, please. So for more information, for right now, I'm having people contact me. In the future, this plan is going to be posted on the Lincoln County HHS website, and I'm hoping that will be live on Friday, August 1st. And we are making plans right now to hold a public meeting up in Lincoln City on Wednesday, August 13th. And that meeting should start at 6 p.m. I'm not really firm on a location yet, so the public announcement will be both on the Lincoln County website and the Lincoln County Health and Human Services website. We will have notices posted in the paper. I'm currently working with Gabby Santos on getting personalized invitations out to those 11 remaining families and the remaining 32 individuals that we know about, so that they know that, this meeting is taking place. Come and let us know your concerns, share your ideas with us, and we can explain what this program is all about and hopefully get some people engaged. This is an exciting opportunity for Lincoln County. It has been my dream since I began here, and I been working with Commissioner Hall. We were working on the first 10-year plan to end homelessness in Lincoln County, and I think that was 2 plans ago. So at the very beginning, I was a part of this exciting work, and then my job changed a little bit, and my focus changed to substance use disorder. So this is an exciting time for me, and to know that we can keep these properties affordable, for 30 years, that's just a dream come true for me. So when people purchase these houses that we help purchase, they're not going to be able to turn around tomorrow and sell it for $1 million or whatever. We all know how expensive properties and homes are to acquire here in Lincoln County. So those families will be required to live in the home that we helped provide for a certain number of years. If that family passes away, let's say, you know, it's a single dad or something, he can will his home to his children, but they still have to stay within that time commitment and keeping those properties at an affordable rate. And so if they decide to leave the program or sell their house early, they have to sell it for what they purchased it for. And so it might, you know, come in at an assessed value at 600,000 or something, but if they only purchased it for 140, that's what the next person is going to pay to acquire the property. And so this is an exciting time. I invite anyone who's interested to contact me for more information. Like I said, this is going to be a very quick moving project. We decided to really focus on modular homes and manufactured homes just because of the time that it takes to get these projects completed. You know, stick built can take anywhere from, you know, more than a year, especially trying to get supplies and contractors on the coast. Sometimes that can be difficult. And we all know that we have a long raining season, and construction is not always conducive to that.
I just want to add one point, and that is that if after we work with the 11 identified families, we have remaining funds, and we think that will be likely. The grant does allow us to work with low-income individuals who were in the county during the wildfires. So the reach, obviously the priority population are those folks that were directly affected, but we actually have the ability to use the entire amount to help with permanent housing.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Questions, further comments from the board at this point?
Thank you, Commissioner Hall. Just that passover to where we could use those funds contingent on those 11 people. I mean, I know it's probably complicated, and Jennifer, I'm curious, how much more complicated is this compared to your grant experience, or is it just different?
So it's really not that complicated or different. I have to do all of the same requirements for all of my federal reporting. So for that part, it's not new, and I'm not doing this alone. I have a wonderful consultant, Tom Kemper, who has been working in Lincoln County on housing projects with the Lincoln County Health and Human Services, with the Housing Authority of Lincoln County, Northwest Community Housing. He's involved. I think he's got his fingers in almost every housing project in the community. And he has agreed to sign on as my consultant. And he worked with Katie when these funds were being rolled out at the very beginning. So I'm not driving this alone. And but on the flip side of this is I'm learning a lot very quickly. And I have great partners. As you know, I have a long history with Sheila Stiley from Northwest Coastal Housing. I have a long relationship with Lola Jones from Samaritan House. She was my AmeriCorps Vista when she was a young new graduate, and now she's running Samaritan House. And so we have a lot of great identified partners in this, and we're not doing this alone.
And I might just add that there's weekly meetings with OHCS and a consulting firm that they have retained. So usually when we meet, there are like 15 of us on a call to talk about the plans and what we're doing and so forth. And of course, our own fiscal team.
Yeah, I mean, appreciate it because, like you said, 11 families, but 32 people and 19 animals too,
Yes.
right? So quite a lot of people invested that this work out, you know. So do all 11, will they most likely be at the public meeting, or any sense of that yet, or?
You know, I have talked to Gabby about sending out invitations, and I understand that a lot of our families are in different situations. So I'm not sure how many will personally attend the community meeting, but I will also be reaching out with Gabby to each individual family to explain the project, just so that we can make sure that at least that starting with the people that have been identified, that we can work through their housing concerns and situations.
Yeah. Gabby's pretty amazing. So,
She's very amazing.
yeah.
And with Jane mentioning OCHS and their involvement in this, I just have to say that this is one of the most organized grants I have ever worked on. It has been phenomenal. it's a lot of work getting these things up and running. We had to submit quite a few documents before we could even hold a public hearing. And I'm just going to be frank with you, Commissioner Miller. I was terrified at first. I thought, this is way too big for me. It certainly isn't as far as grant size or anything like that, but it was housing, and it was something that I didn't feel super confident in. But the more that I've worked with this and with the support of OHCS, I'm so impressed with how incredible that organization is and how organized this is. I feel like I have somebody at the state level holding my hand, and they're, for any questions that I have, I can pick up the phone at any time and have someone from OHCS just right there to answer any questions. I believe, I don't know if they are, oh, yes, we do have some OHCS
Yes.
staff people here today.
We knew they were coming, but we weren't sure when they were going to. We have Megan Call with us. I don't know if you want to contribute anything.
No, we're excited to work with Lincoln County. I'm with ICF, which is the consultant supporting OHCS on the AHD program. We have some other representatives from OHCS.
Oh, yeah.
Great.
We're in full force here.
Welcome, everybody. Thanks.
Yeah, appreciate your work on this so much. And thank you for taking the torch too. Jen, it's so important. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I have a
Commissioner
couple questions.
Check.
So you said we're on a timeline. How are we looking and what is that timeline?
I think we're looking great. We need to have our first project plan submitted by August 29th, I believe, but we've already started. With all of the work that Tom did with Commissioner Jacobson before she left, I think that they were already in the planning stages before I know they were before the funds even arrived. And so I'm the only I'm the late joiner in all of this. Tom knew the plan. He's well versed in all of this. I think that this is going to be incredible.
And so what is our timeline?
Oh, timeline. Sorry. We need to have everything all buttoned up and reporting, or all the reporting in by the, I believe it was 2029.
Okay,
August of
so
2029.
we have a little bit of time, and so I think I've talked with Commissioner Jacobson regarding Kemper. They have the capacity to get this done in that time, and that's great. I mean, these people have been waiting a long time to get a place to live, and so that's good. And then you had referred to Housing Authority, us possibly managing. Are we going to be able to budget for that in the future, and how are we looking at that?
I believe that the rents that they will be collecting will help to ensure that the rental housing is maintained and,
Okay.
continued in a very nice situation. There's probably like a specific language for that I don't have.
Okay. No, thank you for that, Jenny. Thank you. Chair.
At this point, let's see if there is anybody online to offer public comment on the subject of this public hearing, which is the application for this affordable housing grant. If there is online, please use the raise hand function. Anybody, Mr. Lip? Okay. Do we have anybody in the room signed up for testimony on this particular agenda item? So so I can formally close the public hearing. Are we all in favor of moving this forward?
Yes.
Yes,
please.
Chair.
Okay, what's our next step procedurally?
We have the funds available to us. Really, at this point, we're just soliciting public input. So you heard the kind of the three broad areas. And so I think at this point, we're really just looking for public input to see if we need to revise that or how we can fill that out.
All right, thanks very much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
We move on to decision and action items. First up, North Lincoln Sanitary Rate Review Increase Request of 6%. We had a presentation and public hearing on this earlier, and now we are at the point of deliberation and action.
No questions for me. I'm ready to move this forward.
No questions for me, Chair. I'm also
All right.
ready.
Okay, I'd entertain a motion then, please.
Yes, I would move that we approve the rate schedule for North Lincoln Sanitary Service at 6%.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor, please say aye.
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 Thank you. Thanks for
Short
coming
and
in.
sweet.
Okay.
Until next time.
See.
Okay, now we have presentation of our 23-24 audit plan of action, and would our team come up to the testimony table?
There's a knee spot right
Yeah.
there, right at my height. That was,
Yeah.
Ow.
You're pretty tall.
what a welcome.
Yeah, really.
Good morning.
Good
My name's
morning.
Lennon Pierce. I'm the County Finance Director.
And I'm Donnie Walt with Soren CPAs.
Good to see you.
I'd like to provide a little preface for the presentation if we could. Having started as the Director of Finance at the end of January, I walked into one audit that was behind schedule and another that had just concluded. Prior to contracting with KDP, who is now Soren, Eisner CPA was the audit firm, and they had not completed a prior audit that they were supposed to have been completing, which ultimately put the county behind schedule, diligently reporting on time as we had for many years. Through the transition to the new audit firm, a couple of accounting controls were identified that needed to be worked on that Eisner had not previously identified. They were identified in the most recent prior audits, and while this corrective action plan contains plans for addressing and resolving multiple material findings, it should be noted that there have been great improvements since transitioning to new and audit firm, as well as lots of reexamination of protocols and ideas of how to continue to improve the accounting for these identified issues, as well as guardrails to attempt to prevent any further issues from arising. So for audits, any municipality or public agency and even larger public entities are required to be audited to ensure accountability and compliance with laws and regulations in its financial operations and practices. Audits help verify that public funds are being used effectively and efficiently while being in alignment with the county's objective and budget. Audits also identify any potential mismanagement, errors, recommendations for processing and accounting procedures, etc. Ultimately, audits aim to build public trust by demonstrating responsible governance and are considered routine financial practice for public and private entities of certain sizes and larger. And so with that, you can see the attached document had some basic addresses of things that were found in prior audits and how we're attempting to rectify and complete some of them and move forward.
All right. Don, anything to add?
I think that he's done a really good job. So a lot of these findings that you're going to read through here are repeat from the FY23 audit. And I think that it's pretty normal, seeing as though we didn't finish the FY23 audit until well into the FY24 year. And so it really doesn't allow any particular amount of time to correct anything if basically the whole FY24 has passed and you still have these control issues during that whole year. So to see these same ones is not a surprise. As we're rolling into the FY25 audit, which basically this is kind of a normal timeline. You know, the FY25 for the county has just ended as of June 30th, and we're out here and we're doing interim procedures. And then in another month, we'll be out here doing the financial statement audit. And so this allows, with the time that's passed and these controls identified that need to get corrected, I would anticipate that a lot of these particular findings that are on this plan of action would begin to drop off or be eliminated completely to the level where it's like we have a few small issues, not to the level of material weakness or significant deficiency. Whenever we have material weakness or significant deficiency, it's required to be brought to the attention of governance. And so that's why you're being presented with this, and the plan of action is being presented as well.
Mhm.
Anything else, or can we open it to board questions? Commissioner Miller?
Yeah, well, I think this draft looks great. We've got plan of actions, as you said, we've identified it, we're moving forward. When will we move this out of draft and adopt the path forward?
Today.
So we'll move out of draft, okay, so this won't come back. Okay, well, gone over it myself and do feel it's very reassuring. So, but those are my preliminary thoughts.
Yeah, that's a good thought as well. Things have been identified that need to be dealt with, and we're already in the process of starting to deal with them. Commissioner Chuck.
No, I'd just like to thank, Lennon for coming in at short, not a lot of time and getting all these things caught up and, going through
Yes.
the, what has gone on in the past and being able to compile that to make us help, Soren with the audit. So I'm looking forward to these things getting addressed, and it looks like they're going to be done. So thank you.
Well, I'd like to also say I have a great staff who helps me keep
Mm.
track of a lot of these different things because this straddles a couple different areas between the things. And so we're having their support and institutional knowledge has helped immensely with all of this.
Okay. Procedurally, do we vote to accept, adopt these findings? What would be the terminology?
Board, you would make a motion to approve the plan of action.
Approve the plan of action. Okay, would somebody want to make that motion?
So I will move that we approve the plan of action.
And I will second that motion.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Don, see you tomorrow maybe then.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. That'll work.
Thank you.
Mr. Gardner.
Thank you, Lennon.
The next agenda item is property tax foreclosure publication bids. Thought I saw Mr. Gardner in the room. There he is.
Good morning.
Morning, Brian.
Brian Gardner, Assistant County Counsel for Lincoln County. So I think you should have gotten a packet from Ashley with the property tax, with our county property tax department. So what happens this time of year, every year, Commissioner Chuck, since I don't know if you're aware of this, but we go through a property tax foreclosure list. Basically, that's when somebody is delinquent on their taxes for the year. The county is required to provide notice of that. And in order to trigger certain deadlines for either action or abilities for us to act on those delinquencies. So as part of that, ORS 312.040 requires that notice of the foreclosure list be published in a publication in a newspaper of general circulation. Now, there's been some discussions previously with the legislature about changing that based on realities of today, but those haven't changed. There's a House bill currently being discussed, House Bill 2088, which also has to do with some changes in the law regarding redemptions and different parts of the notice that are going to have to change and the deadlines. But again, that has not been enacted. So what we are still operating under existing ORS 312.040. So at this stage, what I'd be asking, and I would be asking for the commission, unless there's any serious issues with it, with what was presented by Ms. Landy, to designate the publication today, because that will help with the timelines, because the bids, as you could see from the packet she provided, the bids have to do with getting the list to the publication by the end of August or middle of August. She did not make a specific recommendation I could find in the submission that she did. What she did was provide the bids from the Oregonian and the Lincoln County Leader. Those are the newspapers. She also provided a bid from the Lincoln Chronicle, which currently does not qualify as the newspaper of general circulation under the current standing law. What I'd be asking is that the board determine between the Oregonian and the Lincoln County Leader. And the only distinguishing factor that was provided by Ms. Landy is the cost for it, with the Oregonian costing $2,761 per full page, and the Lincoln County Leader being roughly half that per page. What I'd be asking is that the Board of Commissioners direct staff that the Board of Commissioners designate which newspaper of general circulation is used for the notice of foreclosure list. And I would submit an order to that effect if you guys are able to determine that.
Questions, comments from the board?
Yeah, thank you, Chair Hall. Mr. Gardner, are we caught kind of in this transition where it feels like the legislature maybe kind of has caught up completely to the new digital platforms? I mean, any sense of that?
Just that they haven't made any decisions. As I stated, we're operating under the requirement of this. So I believe last year, you designated the Lincoln County leader. Because we only designate one, but then I believe the tax department also, I mean, not required by law or required to be designated, but I think they also paid to have it digitally done as well.
Yeah.
And they can still do that. The only thing that we really need to decide today is who the designated official publication is.
Yeah.
Commissioner Check?
Yeah.
So is the goal to do it local, get as many people to see it as possible, or is it just to get it out there?
It's to get as many people to see as possible. I mean, redemptions are the easiest way to deal with these.
Well, I think it's a shame the legislature hasn't yet caught up to the 2025 realities of how news is produced, disseminated, and consumed. But I guess for now, we're stuck in the landscape that has been set up for us. So would somebody like to make a motion here? Or is
So today we are just designating,
either Lincoln County Leader or Oregonian
yeah,
as the paper of publication for the foreclosure list?
yeah. And my sense would be we would need to choose the leader. So I would move that we do make the leader, but that we also consider possibly maximizing reach. Maybe we should do digital as well and consider that. But as far as designating the leader, I think that's what we have to do.
Commissioner Check?
I'm fine with that.
Okay, let's get it formalized with a motion, please.
Okay, I would move that we designate the Lincoln County Leader as the primary publication for foreclosure.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you very much.
So we'll get an order submitted for you guys' review. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, one scheduled report from staff, emergency preparedness grant summary. And will our presenters please come on up?
Morning.
Good morning, board.
Hello.
Good.
Am I on? Yeah, okay, great. I'm Samantha Buckley, Lincoln County Emergency Manager.
And I'm Susan Traxel, the Assistant Emergency Manager for the county.
All right.
Okay, so there is a short slide deck included with the materials, and I'll just go over what happened in the last year for this grant that you have authorized. This year, $36,000 was authorized. And next slide. It's been in place since 2007. And we've been doing up to $2,500 in matching grants. So as long as the cost of the whole project is at least $5,000, people are getting the entire amount. And it's intended for purchase of emergency supplies, anything related to disaster response or preparation for a specific set group of eligible applicants. So I do explain the process on the next slide if you're interested. We post it early. This year, we actually were able to get everything put in place after the transition of leadership in our department. Everything was put in place. We had it open for 2 months for the applicants to apply, which are cities, water utilities, and schools. I think that's it.
Fire department?
Fire department,
Yeah.
yes, that's a big one.
Yeah.
So those are the people eligible for the grant. And we review them just to make sure they meet the criteria. Then we submit them to you to review and approve. All the applicants who applied this year were eligible, met the criteria, and they were approved. And then we do have follow-up for them. So we do ask them to send back the proof that they used the funds, a summary report of what they did with them, and then we close it out. We ask that we now require actually that they close it out before they're eligible to apply for the next grant. Because there was, sometimes it's hard to get all that paperwork in. So now everyone knows they got to turn the stuff in before they get the next grant, and everyone's been really good about that.
Good.
So the next slide, I did not mention also that the ports and the tribe are eligible to apply for this grant, as well as OSU Extension. And so we actually do direct outreach to each of those eligible entities. We send them email twice. And I think next year we're also, if we don't get a response from people, we're going to try, if we do it again, we'll do another call. So
You're okay. You're great.
So the next slide, these are all the awards that we put out this last year. You'll notice that one is not $2,500, and that's simply because the city of Siletz did not submit for a project that was 5,000 or more. I think, I misspelled cash. I don't know what that means.
It's all right.
I was not involved in that. As you guys know, I have a connection with the city of Siletz, but I wasn't involved in that application process. And everyone else got the $2,500. So some of the items were Lincoln City, they're getting go bags for their employees so that they're ready in case of a disaster. We've got a few cash supplies up there. So the city of Newport, city of Siletz, city of Walport, city of Yachats, Newport Fire, down at their fire station by the airport, Depot Bay Fire, and Yachats Fire, Rural Fire, and Lincoln County School District. A lot of these have applied every year, and we've been building up these cash supplies throughout the county. This grant has been a big part of that, helping people get funding to support that progress. Additionally, the North Lincoln Fire and Rescue District, they got a gravity water filtration system and solar panels for a unit, some power units they had, and they're big water filtration. So instead of supplies, they're looking at water, which is great. We like to see the diversity of these applications. Siletz Valley Fire, they got emergency go bag starter kits for their community. They had the same thing last year and they were well received, so they asked to do that again. They have a couple of outreach events that they use them for. And then Eddyville Charter, they are really working hard to get their school prepared. So they have a generator, but they need to connect it to the school. So they asked for funds to help connect the generator to the school so it can actually do what it's intended to do. And then we finally had a water district apply in Southwest Lincoln applied last year as well, and they are getting the parts to make their dual fuel tank operational. So we're hoping that we can get more. We had hoped for more applicants this year, but we got a pretty good amount there. So we spent $30,729 of the $36,000 allotted. And the next slide is just a graph of where the money has gone since 2011. That's the only records we have is back to 2011. So you can see caches are a big spender in neighborhood cities and schools, but also there's been responder supplies, equipment, and then the miscellaneous, just random things that didn't fit in those categories. So some really good uses for the grant were in place. And then the next slide is just how the funds have gone out over the years. There's been high years and low years, and our last one here is $30,729. And then the final slide for you is just the examples of purchases this year. Some of that equipment, the school district bought tents for one of their schools to go in the cache. And then there's that larger water filtration system. And those solar panels I mentioned earlier, the ever infamous buckets of food that will last 25 years. And then an example of the caches that are common are these Connex boxes. So that's one that the city of Newport put in last year, but they ordered more. So that's what we've done.
Thank you
And
for a
we're-
great presentation. And can I expand a little bit on the history and that 2007 program start? Because I think people who weren't here for that might find it interesting. At the time, I was on the board with Commissioner Don Lindley, Commissioner Terry Thompson, and we were approached by Herman Welch, who was then the mayor of Waldport, and the Waldport School was nearing completion, and he had come up with the idea of having these caches, and would the county partner with the city or school district to fund this? And we took that under advisement, and we thought, that's a great idea. We can't just do it for one facility, one place. And so we launched the program. Pretty simple criteria, I think, in the beginning. Lincoln County Schools and the cities were the only eligible applicants. But as you mentioned, the program's gradually been expanded in eligibility and purpose through the years. And, just one man's idea has blossomed into this. So I think that's wonderful. Commissioner Chuck or Commissioner Miller, comments or questions?
Yeah, well, thank you for your work on this. Question, these Connex containers, what's the life cycle of them? And does it depend on whether you buy it used or new? Just some thoughts on that?
I don't really have any major thoughts on that. They last a long time.
Okay.
And I imagine in prior experience, I've seen people put sealants and things on them. And they can also put in like HVAC units to keep them at the right temperature. And that's some of our Connex boxes where they're planning on going to doing that as well, to keep everything not moldy, keep it at the right temperature for when you need it many years down the line, hopefully.
Yeah. Well, I remember once we had kind of had a dilapidated container, and just curious about the lifespan of those. And I appreciate that everybody's reported and they're following through with it. And that consistency is important. Shows that they value it. So thanks for your work on this. I think it's a wonderful program.
I do too.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. The next item on the agenda is public comment. Let's see first if there's anybody online, and if so, use the raise hand function. Again, want to remind anybody that public comment is limited to 3 minutes per person. Mr. Lip is the official timekeeper. I try to keep my eye on it as well, but Mr. Lip is the official timekeeper. And again, want to remind people that individuals attending board meetings should conduct themselves with respect and civility toward others. Anyone speaking during public comment is advised that the speaker's subject matters may not include obscenity, defamation, or slander. Do we have anybody online?
Again, if you're online and would like to offer public comment, please use the raise hand function in Zoom. Doesn't look like it.
Okay. Could I see the sign-in sheet then, please? Thank you. Deborah Kozar-Deuce.
Hello, Commissioners. Thank you for having me, allowing me to come and speak. I would like to read into the record a small part of the investigation of Casey Miller. Okay. The disclosure of confidential employee information is a clear case of policy breach, and reveals a critical lapse of judgment. Now I'll make my statement. This is why I lost respect for Commissioner Casey Miller. He pulled the stunt attacking Commissioners Katie Jacobson and Claire Hall with false accusations a year ago in September, a little over a month before the election, I believe, to tip the scale towards Beasley to be elected commissioner. People want peace in the commissioner's office. We are all tired of this. I'm hearing of a misunderstanding that fixing this mess is in the hands of others, not solely up to Casey. He's had a year to fix this fiasco. I believe he needed to make a public apology and enter into mediation with all the people involved. From what I see, he shows no signs of wanting to fix it. He's only interested in grandstanding and furthering the chaos. So I would like to ask Casey to clarify for all of us by disclosing to the community what steps he has taken to re-earn the respect and trust of his county work colleagues and constituents, and whether he has concluded he is making any progress. Also, Casey, I'm asking that you make your daily schedule publicly available in the same manner the other commissioners have. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, we have Quentin Smith.
Hi, Quentin Smith. I'm the editor and board chair of Yahats News, which produces Lincoln Chronicle. I just want to follow up on a comment that Brian made and that you didn't catch, and to bring it to your attention. We're all stuck in this weirdness that I think Chair Hall mentioned of this, the legislation not being on legal notices not being as realistic as it might have been 10, 15, 20 years ago. But the county is not trying to do to get the foreclosure notice in this case or other cases to the most possible people. This is, you're checking a box that says we have to do this. You're not getting it to the most people. In none of the RFPs did it say, what is your circulation? What is your penetration? What is your return rate for newspapers? There's none of that information. So for example, for $2,800, how many issues are you buying? Are you behind a paywall? Can you put your foreclosure notices outside of your paywall? And some organizations that have that capability, or for example, a Salem Reporter do that. They're behind a paywall, but their public notices are not. And just as there's very many, I'll say this one last time maybe, is there's a big split in the legal profession about are these, can you use digital products? We right now service probably 8 to 10 local governments for public notices. Their attorneys say it's fine. And again, it's like any group of attorneys, you're going to have the whole mix of opinion. But so it's not unanimous. It's not clear. It's very gray in some circles. But the point is that in addition to checking the box for the legal requirement, the county should, and this is our reason for existence, getting it out to the most people for the best possible prices should be the other goal of that. So thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Quentin.
All right. That brings us to the close of folks who have signed up for public comment. And that brings us to the close of, Mike? Oh, okay. Oh, usually I'm looking for a first and last name, but okay. I thought.
I respect all of my rights, and giving my full name, address, and telephone number for the world to see is not in my best interest.
Okay.
So I respectfully decline to do that at every public event, even though you guys know who I am, you know how to contact me. That's why I respect my Fourth Amendment. And that's why I'm actually here today. I was here yesterday following up on a complaint that I've been trying to make for months, since March. I have not been able to make a complaint. I sat in this office for another 2 hours, approximately 2 hours yesterday, getting no help yet again. I came to talk to the legal counsel because I was told that my property was sent to you guys. I have been calling you guys for weeks. I talked to one person that answered the phone and we spoke for approximately 20 minutes or so. She didn't know where it went, who it was going to. Told me that she would get back to me. I have called repetitively at different times of the day, on different days, because we all have a job to do. I respect that and I understand it. But when you do not answer the phone at all anymore, that says something more to me. Not you personally, but the office. So I came in to speak to somebody. I called approximately 11 something, maybe right before lunch. Nobody answered the phone. I respect, maybe somebody's at lunch. I came in after lunch, after 2 p.m. yesterday. Nobody was there to help or talk to me, not even to give me 60 seconds, which is a problem that I've had in the past with Board of Commissioners. I see a repetitive violation of my civil rights, and that's to redress my government when I see a problem. And that's part of my complaint, is my civil rights were violated. Multiple policies, county policies were violated. Laws were violated. Chapters were violated. I have them all wrote down. I'm ready to turn it in. I'm ready to turn more video in on this complaint, but I can't get in touch with nobody to file this complaint. So regarding yesterday, which is what brought me in today, after not being able to get not 60 seconds of somebody's time, I had to deal with the executive assistant for that amount of time, which isn't always the professional person. I asked for a physical copy of a complaint, something of which I've been working on since March. Getting you guys to make a physical copy so that we, the people, can come make a physical complaint ourselves, which is a violation of our right. You guys have not done it still. I put this on all of your shoulders. Thank you for hearing me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. At this point, I'll remind everybody our next meeting of the Board of Commissioners, Wednesday, August 6th, 10 a.m. in this room. Thank you. Until then, we're adjourned.